Lucky Boys Podcast.
There's some pride, when I hear you speak about your company. We're a New York City company.
Yep.
We're, made in New York. Mm-hmm. And I love Jersey, but I wouldn't go back. I don't want to go back there. You said early on. Can I share that?
Go for it.
All right. And there wasn't anything negative. You have some pride.
Yeah.
Right.
Again, it comes down to ego, right? It's like I grew up, and I actually will say this. This one is an evolving thought. Because I'm 33 now, and I feel like whether it's most kids, or at least I did, spent a lot of childhood or college years, or even right after that, just trying to run away. It's effectively trying to run away from home. And actually, as I've
like in a literal sense, run away from home.
Not run away, but just grow up or get past.
Okay, okay.
And I don't know how much of this. I was the youngest of three boys, all that jazz. But I was looking to just be my own man, kind of dynamic. And I'm actually, I think, this one I can share. I'm if folks here are familiar with the Asian Hustle Network, they're putting together a book, and my story will be chronicled in that book when it comes out. One of the things I actually talk about there, and it's a bit of like a self-reflective journey, is that actually the area that I grew up in, New Jersey, I think actually helped me to launch this company. In that I grew up in just like a super diverse area.
Where in Jersey is that?
Central New Jersey, a town called Sayreville.
Sayreville. I know Sayreville.
Okay.
My sister used to live in South Amboy.
Oh, interesting. There you go.
Right there.
But literally that area, mostly, candidly, mostly white. My family was one of the first wave of Asian families coming in. Predominantly Italian, Irish, and Polish American, but grew up eating a lot of those foods. You go to the next town over, you get really, really good Portuguese food. You go 2 towns over, you're basically in Edison, and that's amazing, anything Asian. And then you go to New Brunswick, amazing Latin American food. And it's just I don't think I would have been able to synthesize the world as is. We talk about learning about other people through, eating their food. That was kind of ingrained in me in the earliest days. And it's actually interesting because I would say now, and I'm going to almost double back on what I said, before we recorded. So sorry. But I would say that now I've definitely grown more of a sense of pride in the area in which I grew up in.
Jersey.
In Jersey. I still love the city. I still would, if I could, would love to make everything work here. Although from everyone that I talk to, a lot of my friends now have kids. I don't know I don't know how people raise a family here. It's kind of tough. But what I will say is that yes, there's absolutely a pride that I have in having started this company here, gone through, we just hit our 2-year anniversary last week. I still very much view us and want to view us as a New York City based company because it is the romantic version of, you make it here, you can make it anywhere. Absolutely. I think
it does have some cachet.
It is.
Right. Say, hey, my company is in New York City. Mm-hmm. But I will say New Jersey is so underrated. My story is actually similar to yours, except that I'm from New York City, born and raised. And then I go and hang out in Jersey. I have family. I have friends there. And I'm like, yo, this place is super underrated. They have awesome hiking trails, amazing restaurants, so many things to do for families. Shopping, you name it. They have all parks. There's just so many incredible things to do in Jersey. Minus the taxes are pretty damn high in certain areas, but in the tri-state area, if you want anywhere with a good school district, you're gonna have to pay for that. But Jersey is just a great place to be. I had so much fun in Jersey where I had to rethink the way I looked at Jersey. They used to say that's New York's dump. Right?
Yeah. Like the armpit of
the armpit. Yeah. Thank you. But I'm just going, I don't know. I don't think that's a fair assessment of Jersey. I kind of like Jersey. And I'm a New Yorker.
As a New Yorker. Wow. You want to say that on there?
And that's, I'm going to get a knock on my door. Hey, Will, we're going to have to take your New York card.
I think the biggest thing that I would say is it's important as life goes on and things happen, whether it's family, age, what have you, to just constantly reevaluate. It's a good bit. To me, it gets back to the whole pride and ego thing. You can change your position.
Yeah. But you know what? Most of the people that I feel that have this negative outlook or view of Jersey or anywhere, they probably haven't lived there.
Yeah.
I think that's really it. You're getting someone that's telling you that this sucks. Don't go there. And you're like, yeah, you ever lived there? And like, nah. Their experience is just a micro. They may have visited once or a couple of times, and they just really didn't know where to go. And that's it. And Jersey has amazing views along the waterfront. You go to Hoboken, Jersey City, Weehawken, West New York, Edgewater, and what's above it? Fort Lee. I don't know. Fort Lee. Yeah. The GW, George Washington Bridge area. I mean, it's nice, man. The views there are outstanding.
And if you haven't been down to South Jersey, I mean, some of the most amazing farms and farmlands
that's right.
In at least this part of the country, if not like the country. You know, there's
it feels like a completely different area. So for everyone that has
not this would be an ad for New Jersey. You know? Not that we'd be riffing about this today.
I'm just thinking, I'm New Yorker like raised, and I'll be honest, I still hold a preconceived bias of Jersey. I can't see myself moving out there. I've contemplated it. My fiance is a hard no. I'm like, would you move to Jersey?
Weren't you looking at Hoboken at one point?
We were looking at one point, but then the taxes just didn't make sense. We're like,
it's
the
aggressive.
Taxes are aggressive, and the amount we were going to pay is like the same things we would have paid in like Brooklyn.
Sure.
Even, right? So I'm like, okay, it's less convenient to travel to. I love Brooklyn, so why am I even looking at Hoboken anymore? So we were looking at Hoboken from like as a stretch, potentially, but then we scrapped it pretty quick in a month.
Yeah, a lot of people. I mean, if they look at those locations, I think they're young families in those parts of Jersey, Hoboken, Jersey City, where they're young professionals. They're either young professionals. If they're young professionals and they're renting, they probably live there, right? But if they're young professionals and they're family, they're probably looking to buy something there. That's been my experience. And it's this, like, you kind of, it's that bridge of growing up before you have to really grow up.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, it's you're not ready to mow the lawn yet. You're not ready to kind of be a little bit handy around the house and do all that stuff, or travel to work where it takes over an hour, or having a happy hour, then having a long ride home, and therefore skipping happy hour or hanging out with your friends all together. You're not really ready for that yet. But I think as you get older and people evolve into other areas in their life, they begin to go further and further away from the city life. And with COVID, it kind of accelerated all of that, where people are just like, I'm getting, I mean, that's like a ninja bomb. They go,
I know.
and then you look around these like major metropolitan areas, you're like, where the hell did everyone go?